welcome to Super Saturdays. I am Jason DeFalco, Interim Superintendent, reporting from your very own WMCT-TV. This is the first of many episodes that we will have offering our Marlboro community a very distinct insight into what's happening in our public schools. Today, I have a few special guests with me, but we are going to start with the new principal of the Goodnow School, Miss Jen Collins. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you for having me.
Jen, so at the beginning of the school year, myself and the high school principal, Steve Serapino, we did these short little intro videos to our community. And I wanted to start with you because I know that we didn't get a chance to get your video off the ground. So I thought it'd be really important to give our Marlboro community an opportunity to hear directly from you as a new principal at Goodnow. So with that, I have a few questions for you, if that's okay.
I would love to answer those.
And give the community a opportunity to get kind of reintroduced to you, because from what I understand, you know quite a bit about Marlboro.
I do. I am a lifelong resident of Marlboro. I went through the Marlboro Public Schools from grades 1 through 12. I graduated in 1992. And then I came back after I had went to Salem State University. Well, it was college at the time, now university. And I got my early childhood education degree. And I started at the Kane Elementary School as a paraeducator. And then 2 years later, I was hired as a second grade teacher. And from there, I spent, it was 26 years total in Marlboro for starting as a paraeducator all the way up through teaching kindergarten and second grade primarily. And then I decided that I wanted to take on leadership. I had an opportunity to become a team leader for the second grade team for 5 years. And I was inspired by the principal that was working at the time at my building. And I went ahead through MSAA and I got my certification in administration. I left Marlboro for 2 years because there wasn't an opportunity for me to work as an administrator. And I went to Uxbridge for 2 years as an assistant principal there. And I learned so much in a very short amount of time. And I was happy to know that there was an opening in Marlboro again, because I live here. I've gone to school here. My family has gone to school through Marlboro public school systems. And really, it's a community that has grown dear to my heart. And it always has a special place in my heart.
So you started in our school systems as a student.
Yes.
And worked your way up through paraeducator, teacher, and now back here as a building principal.
That is correct.
That's pretty inspiring. That's a really impressive trajectory. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's no small feat.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that it was a significant number of intentional leadership kind of moves that got you to the principalship. Yeah. Do you want to share some of the highlights of your leadership work in the past? I know you're just new to Marlboro, but you're not a new leader.
No. So I think in the beginning where I started was mainly as a teacher leader. And through that, I learned all about data collection and how important it was to help drive instruction in the classroom. And then I kind of was thriving more of that. So, and I went through the program through my admin certification. I was able to use that knowledge that I had and grow it more. When I went to Uxbridge, I had the opportunity to share some of that data collection and different ways to inspire the staff in the Uxbridge Public Schools. I was at a pre-K to grade 3 building, and it was great to be able to go and just be a person that would help to support the teachers and to really give them an opportunity to grow in their craft and to support them and offer them different ways of looking at their instruction, which they weren't quite doing yet. So for me, it was a great, I felt good about what I was doing in that community.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you are defining leadership, and if I have this wrong, tell me, but you are defining leadership as really lifting others, lifting and supporting others.
For sure. For me, evaluation and observation is one of our main objectives and things that we do as administrators. And for me, it's really becoming a coach and really becoming a facilitator in that work so that I can be there to support and guide in a way that is really hones in on the strengths of the individuals, and then also looking at those areas of needs and how can I help get them to a better place moving forward.
That's great to hear. And I think the Goodnow community is very lucky to have you at the helm for sure, especially given your philosophy and your kind of approach. So let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about students.
Yes.
So parents largely just want their children to go to school, be safe, have fun, grow, learn, right? And kind of the basics. And you're a parent too, right?
Yes.
So, as am I. And so
Yeah.
I think both as parents we understand the desire and the need there. But talk to me a little bit about your approach to taking on an elementary education leadership role. What's your philosophy there as far as the students are concerned?
Yeah. So first and foremost, the biggest thing that I know that's the most important is building relationships with students, with families, with staff, and really providing opportunities to get to know the individuals and all the stakeholders, because it really, without one, you can't have a successful community, school community. You have to have relationships with the teachers, with the staff, with the families and the students. And so for me, it's really getting to know students first. I joked the first few weeks when I was walking into classrooms and I told the kids, I said, listen, I really need your help. I have a lot of homework to do this year. And my homework is I need to learn all of your names. There's 800 of you. I need your help. Will you please help me? And they've been so great. They'll see me in the hall. Do you remember my name? Do you not? And I'll be like, oh, remind me again. And so that's been a great way. I think in the work that we're doing as an administration team in the district, part of that is to really start to get to know students, not just on the surface, but really understand their backgrounds, their learning, how do they learn best, what are their experiences, and how we can use their experiences to help them grow and thrive with high expectations always.
And I think you hit on a really important piece, which is that relationships are the foundation.
For sure.
And so with that, go a little bit deeper. So you're 75 days on the job, thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
Started July 1st.
Around that, yep, yeah.
I think we're close to that mark, or if not right there. And you talked a little bit about learning your student names and building relationships. Say a little bit more about what parents can expect as your top priorities as a new principal.
Yeah, so I think one of the top priorities that I'm watching, I'm learning about the community. And for me, it's really just being out there and observing what is going on throughout the day, the beginning of school, arrival, drop-off time, throughout the school day, after school. We have after school programs that happen in the school, events that occur in the community. For me, I'm just watching and I'm learning so much. And then I'm coming from a place of curiosity and wonder and just asking questions to see what is working well and what can I do to help the areas that maybe aren't so working out so great. I think for us, one of the top goals for me is to get families more involved at Goodnow. I just recently attended a PTO meeting on Monday night, and it wasn't as representative of all of the different cultures and students that we have in our school. And for me, that kind of left me in a not so great feeling about that. So for me, it's just finding ways to really reach out to the community, get families to be as active as they can. And I know that's hard because people are working, but there are all kinds of ways that we can get families more engaged in their students in the school. So I feel like that's a top priority for us with the staff and with the PTO and just getting families more involved.
Yeah, it's easier to build an inclusive environment when everybody comes to the table.
And so much comes out of that too, right? So students thrive when they know that there is a system in place that's supporting them from all places. When their families are supporting them at home, when they come to school and they know they have structure and routine, that's where they're going to thrive and do their best. And so for us, that's a very, very important piece.
So along the same lines, right, we know that schools cannot do this work all by themselves.
Right.
We know that it takes a village, that expression, right, and where the adults need to come together. I think you just highlighted that very well. Can you share any insight you might have around like community partners and maybe different ways you're looking to bring, the community in general or community at large?
Yeah, so I've had some conversations with some of the other building admin and talking about just how can we get more of our community. We have the branches that is just down the street from us, which is assisted living for some of our senior citizens in the community, and just how can we get them to come and even just read to the kids, or how can we get the kids to go there, our older students, our fourth and fifth graders, to take a walk down and maybe read with them or do a craft with them or some kind of community building. And that's just one way I was thinking about it, but also trying to reach out to the youth sports and different different other activities that students do outside of school and bring them into school. And are there ways for us to do that? So yes, there is absolutely, this community is amazing. There's so many opportunities to tap into. So working together with the staff at Good Now to look into that more is something that we're looking into.
And I love how you explain it going both ways.
Yeah.
It's not just what can the community do to help our schools, but it's what can our schools do to turn around and give back to our community. I think that partnership is really, really important. So I'm super glad that you mentioned that. Are there any upcoming events that you want parents to be aware of and to, kind of mark their calendars with?
So I do know that we have an event in October. It's the only real fundraising that Marlboro, that our school does for the year. It's called the Grizzly Challenge. Grizzly the bear is our mascot. And it's happening in October, where they come and set up a big obstacle course, and families will donate money to see how many times the kids go through the obstacle course. And really, it's just a fun day for the kids to come to school. They get a T-shirt that different pieces of the community are volunteering or giving money and supporting our cause and getting T-shirts for the kids. And it's really just a fun day with they get to play outside on the big obstacle courses and the inflatables, and just have fun with music and celebrate together a day of fun. So that is going to be coming up in October.
Excellent. So they should be on the lookout for more information.
Yes, there'll be more information. There's actually a T-shirt designing contest too that was just communicated out, where we're asking students and families if they'd like to design a T-shirt and send us that drawing. We would love to get those and pick one from one of the designs that maybe a student or in their family come up with.
That's great. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
I bet you those that have already started are really, really loving it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, last question. What is one message that you have for our families and friends who are tuning in today? What's one thing that you want them to take away from this conversation?
So I think the one thing is that Good Now is a place that we want all children to come and be able to learn at their highest potential, with expecting the highest expectations from our students and allowing them to thrive with the support from the staff that is at school, but also the support of the families as well, and really, really working together to create a very strong community that supports all of our students.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jen. I'm just really grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you not only are here on set, but that you are here, that you decided to return to your home city and to serve your families and students and staff at Good Now. And just very grateful for all that you've done so far. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. I'm very, very happy to be back, and I'm honored to be in this position.
That's great. We're going to take a break and be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. We are moving on to our next segment, where we will be having a discussion with Principal Steve Serpina, who is our new principal at Marlboro High School. Steve, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Very happy you're here.
Very excited.
So 75 days in, it's been that, yeah, right? Not that we're counting the days, but it's been something like that. You've learned a lot about Marlboro High School in that short period of time. Share with me a little bit about what makes Marlboro High so special.
It's a lot of things. And I saw that right when I started is the level of welcome that I received from students, staff, families, community members was great, and it made me feel at home right away. Walking into Marlboro High School, I was just so impressed with all that they offer our students. We have fantastic students, we have fantastic staff, but what we offer through different learning pathways, internships, athletics, clubs, it's really, really exciting, and we're hoping to continue to build on a lot of that work.
So you're not the only new freshman, so to speak, at Marlboro High this year. We have a whole incoming class of ninth graders.
Yep.
What are some of the things that we do at the high school to help welcome them, help them get used to high school life and all the things that come along with it?
Yeah, so the first thing we do is Jimmy Verdone runs a freshman orientation, and we have what we call link leaders, and we pair them up with the freshman class. So they have a great, really fun, exciting day right before school starts. They play a lot of team building activities. They get a tour of the building, and I got to see it this year, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. The kids had a lot of fun. But what we do, kind of that next step with that, is the link leaders hook up with some of the freshmen as mentors, and they meet throughout the school year once a month just to see how's it going, what can we do to help you. We have a lot of class meetings with the freshmen just to kind of give them the lay of the land. I know the guidance counselors are always checking in with their freshmen, so we really keep a very close eye on them because we want them to be successful. We want them to be successful right out of the start. So I think the school does a really good job of that, and already thinking about more things we can do next year to continue to help our freshmen. I think it's always kind of an evolving process. But I was really glad to see those things that we do for our freshmen, because you don't see that at all high schools.
So you and I have visited a lot of classrooms. We've walked to the building quite often. How would you say the ninth graders are settling in? It's a huge transition from eighth to ninth grade.
I think the freshmen do a great job. And we've seen the hallways are quiet. The students are respectful. I think they're doing a really, really nice job acclimating themselves to high school. And speaking with our assistant principals and ETLs, they'll say the same thing. The freshmen doing a really nice job. So we're really enjoying them, and again, looking forward to kind of watching them grow throughout the years.
One of the things that has struck me with all of our visits, and we've been in a half dozen classrooms, probably more than that at this point, is just how ready to learn the students are. They're attentive, they have the materials out, they're tracking the teacher, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of being on task. They really seem ready.
Yep.
And I'm curious from your perspective if you're seeing that consistently. And again, I'm not there every day, but what are some of the patterns you're seeing as far as that is concerned?
It's been like that every day of the school year, to the point where I've had a lot of staff come up to me and say it's been such a smooth transition to start this year. And what you've seen in the hallways and classrooms is what you'll see every day. It's what I've seen every day going into the classrooms. They're ready to learn. The teachers are ready to teach. It's a really strong environment, and it's very conducive to student achievement. And I think that we have a lot of really great things in place, and I think the freshmen are doing an unbelievable job.
That's great to hear. So you talked about earlier on in our conversation some of these internships and career pathways and things. You want to just touch on some of the opportunities that we do have, because I know it's quite extensive.
Yeah, so we have a great school to career program, which we're continuing to try to grow even further. We have internships with EMTs. We have an EMT class, and kind of interestingly enough, with the ambulance company, I've had the pleasure to meet some of our current EMT workers in the city. Every one of them went to Marlboro High School and went to that program. So I think that's certainly a great point of emphasis. We have students who will go down to the elementary, middle schools to kind of internship there and work with the teachers and work with the students. I've had a meeting. I've met with MEDC to see how we can kind of even grow those internships further. I've met with my school to career counselor and had the same conversations. You and I have had a lot of those conversations because I think it's important to continue to grow those, because we want to offer students different pathways that they can take when they graduate from MHS.
So we talked a little bit about the student readiness and, to learn. We've talked a little bit about some of the career, opportunities and what you've seen. And again, you're looking to expand some of those. Talk a little bit about the social emotional learning aspect. Teenagers on a good day can be a challenge. And we're laughing because we've worked with them our whole careers. But what are some of the things that Marlboro High School has in place to help support the social emotional growth and development of our youth?
Yeah, so we do a bunch of different things. I think one thing that I really like and is new to me is we have our Panther period. And when we schedule our Panther period, some of them are solely for social emotional learning for our students. And I think it's really important, as you said, with the teenagers to really be constantly checking to making sure to see how they're feeling. They can't be successful in school if, we don't support that aspect of them. So those Panther periods are really cool and a really valuable way to get some of those messages across. And it's also a great way for teachers and students to build those relationships that are going to last 4 years and longer. So I think that's one huge way. We have a great guidance department. We have great school adjustment counselors that are always working with their students. As an administrative team, with the guidance counselors and adjustment counselors, we meet bi-weekly to really discuss students and how they're doing and what they need, and what supports have worked, don't work. So that's one thing that's a big priority on ourselves. We'll have screeners throughout the school year really gauge where our students are, and then kind of based on those results, we can put in the necessary supports in place for our students. Because, like I said, we can't do anything else if our students don't have those strong supports to support their social emotional health.
So strong academics with kids who are ready to learn, lots of career opportunities that you're continuing to expand, strong social emotional learning, incredible athletics, clubs, activities, music, etc. It sounds like Marlboro High's got a lot of incredible things going on.
We do. It's really exciting. I think for me, it's a matter of getting people in the building, getting people to see what we're about, getting people at games, getting people at other community events. I've had the opportunity to go to our first home football game. I've been to a couple soccer games. I had the opportunity to walk in the Labor Day parade. So I think it's just come to the high school, see what we're about. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised as to what we offer in just the atmosphere throughout the school. It's unbelievable. And like I said, the kids are they're fantastic. And one thing that has struck me right from the beginning is how much the students and staff care, not only about the high school, but about the community itself. And I think that is something that is only going to help us. But it's a special place. It really is. I'm excited to be here. And I think we have just so much opportunity to even launch ourselves forward, with internships and everything that we offer. I think the pieces are there. But it's a great place.
So we're coming into October, and our 8th grade families particularly, this actually is a very meaningful time of year to them, not just because they're in 8th grade, but because they are starting to think about what high school experience do they want either them as our students to have individually, but from the parent perspective, as a parent, what experience I want my child to have. 2 questions for you, both kind of related to this. The first is, what would you say to them, right? Like, what would you say to our 8th grade families who are starting down this road of really thinking about what, and where their high school should be for their student? And how do they learn more about Marlboro High? Because my sense is people think they know, but like you said, you got to get in the building and see it.
Yeah.
So where would they go for information, and what would you say to them?
It's really a matter of coming to the high school. And if parents want information, I certainly welcome them to reach out to me. I'm happy to have conversations with them on the phone or through email. I'm happy to bring them in for a visit. Because I do think, to your point, I think the perception might not be what they see when they come in the building. And what I would say to eighth graders is choose MHS. And again, I think if you come to the school, you're going to be surprised to what you see. I think you're going to be impressed with what you see. And having been somebody who's worked in other districts at the high school level, I will put MHS up against any high school in what we offer, the breadth of what we offer, the depth of what we offer, because I think in a lot of ways we're offering a lot more than other high schools. And I just think it's important for people to come and see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to come back in a future episode and have a follow-up and talk a little bit more about some of the career pathways and some of the academics and all the different opportunities we have for our students.
Yeah, even our facilities. I love the high school. I love walking into the foyer. It's beautiful. Our athletic fields, We are the little theater. There's a lot of facilities here. We just offer so much. I'm not sure that everybody realizes how much we do, in fact, offer.
That's great. Well, you're going to come back and keep
Absolutely. I do it all day.
share with our community.
Yep.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being here and excited to see all the great things to come
Me too.
for Panther Nation.
All right. I'm excited to be here too, and go Panthers.
All right. And so with that, we are going to wrap up our inaugural Super Saturday episode. Please do come back and join us for future shows. I'm Jason DeFalco, Interim Superintendent for Marlboro Public Schools, transforming education. Thank you.